following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the WZWA Network, and welcome to our review show here of Impact Wrestling Turning Point 2023 from the Walker Activity Dome in Newcastle Upon Tyne, Tyne And Wear, England. I like that. I like that location name. This is from November 3rd. It is now November 6th. So apologies that this is a little late, but I had a bit of a hectic weekend, yeah. So anyway, let's get into it. First up, the countdown to Turning Point. I covered this as well. Grado opens the show as you should, because you know what? He is over here in the UK, as is tradition. He's a fantastic act for the live crowd. And, you know, I thought putting him with Rhino was pretty cool here against these two local guys, Michael D. Vecchio and Ryan Richards, who I'd never seen before. So, you know what? You know who Grado is? Grado is pro wrestling's answer to tennis's own Mansoor Barami. You've got to go on YouTube and find some clips of Mansoor and his comedy antics in some of these, you know, celebrity kind of tennis match. Not celebrity, but, you know, when the old boys get out there and have some games, you know, he always tends to be in it. And he has a lot of hijinks and shenanigans, just like Grado here. The local guys got some heat on Grado before the hot tag was made. Rhino gets in there. He hit a couple of clotheslines, and then he gored the hell out of Ryan Richards, who took it so well. And Grado and Rhino picked up the solid win to the pop of the crowd. Very nice. This was just for a pop, this match. And then the final match on Turning Point 2023's Countdown show is it. Hang on a second. I only have the results written down here for the pre-show, but I do have the full thing that I sent in an email for my article on www.realprowrestling.com, which you can check out. I write for them now, so I write results up for pretty much all pro wrestling pay-per-views, and I also do weekly stuff with NWA Power, Impact Wrestling, and NXT. So I'll just get that up. Here we go. Okay, I've got it here now. My bad. Next match up here, North title, the North Wrestling Championship on the line here. Leon Slater, the champion, taking on Mark Haskins with Vicky Haskins, his wife, at ringside. So apparently Mark Haskins used to be in Impact Wrestling, and he broke his neck. So good to see that he's okay and back in there. Leon Slater is the North Wrestling Champion, and this match is for the title, as I've said. I've never heard of either of these guys. I really like the presentation of Mark and Vicky Haskins, not Maskins. Oh, hopefully Norman picks up on that. Leon looks pretty cool too. Haskins, quick as a cat from the outset. He worked on the left arm of Slater. Speaking of speed, though, Leon showed some quickness and pace as well, brother. A big flurry of big-time moves from Haskins. Got a 2 count on a juggernaut driver. Leon hit a sweet cutter, but then Vicky pulled her husband out of the ring, and then you got to see Vicky Haskins from behind. And I'm like, hello, Vicky Haskins. Whoa. Holy shit, dude. Way to go, Mark. You absolute, you dog, you. Leon hit a massive plancha over the top rope onto Haskins, and then hit a 450 swanton splash for the victory. So both of these guys had a great showing here, and I would not be surprised to see them both in TNA Wrestling come 2024. Let's get on with the pay-per-view. If I can just get my notes sorted out here. Oh my gosh. Right. Okay. So we open up the show here for Turning Point 2023 tag team match. Eric Young and Josh Alexander, who seem to be like a new Team Canada almost, they take on Subculture, Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews. So we know Subculture former tag champions, and Eric and Josh have kind of formed a new team here. I don't know if they're doing this just to keep Josh from the world title program for a while, but we'll see where it heads and goes to. There's no way Subculture beat 2 former world champions. No chance. Eric and Josh dominated early. I thought it was a very important match for Subculture to work with veterans on this level. They are former tag team champions. I noticed that they left TV when they lost the world tag team titles. Near fall for a big elbow from Eric. I know that this is kind of like a blow-by-blow account of these matches, and I don't have a lot to say. I might, you never know, but you know, it's difficult because this pay-per-view, essentially, these matches are cold matches. Nothing's been built. And the Impact Wrestling weekly television, they had that in Scotland this week in Glasgow. And when I did watch that show, and I didn't actually get to do a video review for our Patreon, but they had opportunities to start some sort of angle or get some heat on some of these matches before we got to the pay-per-view. And they didn't do it. They took a safe option with the TV show, but that's okay. Look, I'm just nitpicking a little bit. But I have to say that so I could let you know why I don't have too much to say, because with all these matches, nothing's coming out of it. Like, there's nothing changing about any of these teams or singles wrestlers in their trajectory and what they're doing. So I just want to put that out there. But anyway, props to Subculture for making Josh and Eric look good, as did Josh and Eric making Subculture look good. A lot of back and forth, but Alexander hit the C4 spike for the big win. So they win in 14 minutes, 5 seconds. Let's move forward. Sorry, my back's hurting. Singles match. Alex Windsor takes on Gisele Shaw, the quintessential diva. It'll be good for Gisele to have a solid contest and actually pick up a win here, as it seems Gisele always seems to fall short on pay-per-view. But it looks like a foregone conclusion this time. For those playing at home, I think Gisele will be Knockouts champion within the next 2 years. I guarantee you, because I sense the trajectory, even though she's kind of stalled a little bit. Some of the losses on pay-per-view, I can tell that she'll be at the tippy top by at least 2025. Alex appears to be quite technically sound. She was really on top of her game, and she's on this big stage here on pay-per-view, Fight TV, Impact Plus, and as Jim Ross would say, Alex Windsor there, maximize her minutes out there. Gisele ended up with the deserved win, and looking back, way to go, Alex Windsor. Gisele is already quite good, but you made her look even better. So that was over in 8 minutes, 40 seconds. Next matchup, Rich Swann, Trey Miguel. As much shit as I hang on Rich Swann with the clapping of the leg being too obvious, the man has not done anything important in a while. He's been dragged into tag teams here, into multi-mans there. He's been doing this and doing that, kind of filling, you know, kind of like a utility role here. So I just feel he hasn't done anything important in a while. They had a nice stalemate. Rich got thwarted 3 times by Trey before Rich finally gained a slight advantage. Trey got the advantage again on the outside, though. They smacked one another over and over again at one stage, which kind of made me laugh. They got given a lot of time for this one, I felt. Rich hit the 450 off the second rope and won. So Trey Miguel's now lost 2 matches in a row. He lost to Grado on Impact Wrestling last week. Rich Swann in 11:48. Dani Luna then cut a promo. There wasn't really much to add there, though, but you know, I guess it's good to get her to say a few words before our upcoming match with Jordynne Grace. So what a big weekend for Dani. She worked with Deonna, Moose, and Myers, and now it's onto the former Impact Knockouts World Champion, Jordynne Grace. Because during Subculture's run in Impact, as far as I know, she was just at ringside and was seldomly used in the ring, from what I had witnessed. I could be wrong. Dani, I think she has a lot of potential. And I couldn't be more impressed with the fact that she matched up to Jordynne Grace well. Excuse me, I'm a bit uncomfortable. Dani showed so much of herself in this. Juggernaut driver, though, from Jordynne Grace, as was expected, as is tradition. Good match, Jordynne in 8 minutes, 50 seconds. We are flying through this, bro. We are flying. What else could I say? Because we're nearly at the end here, halfway through. I mean, you know, I'm really excited for them to become TNA Wrestling. I don't know why. I just feel like it's going to be a step up for them. I feel like it would be so good if there would be 3 massively competitive pro wrestling companies. If Impact can get back to the level that TNA was at in like 2009, you know, and their effect in the lay of the land in pro wrestling could be important. Where they can actually be a viable, top tier wrestling company, creating more jobs and more opportunities. I think that would be really, really cool. And I hope so, because you know what? I do tease them a little bit for playing it safe with their creative, but if they just push the envelope a little bit more, I think they could be a player. Anyway, Joe Hendry takes on Simon Miller in the next match, another local kind of guy, and I think Simon really does look the part. He's got those big man pecs, those big man pecs. Well done, bro. They're just the massive man tits. Great attitude on the mic. I did laugh at him calling the Newcastle crowd goobers, and then I said he's my new favorite wrestler. That didn't last long though, but Camille is still my favorite wrestler. He threatened the crowd by stepping through the rope, even though he had no intention of actually getting into the crowd to start swinging. Another win. I like him. But I think, imagine Simon attacked Joe Hendry during his last match in Glasgow when he won the Glasgow Cup and got heat on him prior to this. Because you know what I would have done? Okay, you know what I would have done? I would have had Joe Hendry win the Glasgow Cup, but I would have had Simon Miller attack him, hit him in the head with like the corner of the cup, the sharp part, and then you'd have Joe Hendry bleeding, and to the point where he needs to be stretched out because he's been just hurt so badly. He needs to be put in a neck brace or something like that. And then maybe like he goes to grab the Scottish flag. I don't know if Simon's Scottish or if he's just English, but I would grab a Scottish flag from a plant in the crowd, stuck it in the cup, make it look like I'm pulling my Johnson out and putting it onto the cup like I'm going to pee on the flag inside the cup. That's so stupid, but I don't know. Then you could have had that plant from the crowd so desperate to stop him from pissing on the Scottish flag, the plant gets knocked out with the trophy. He's bleeding, security, everything. And then you could have done something with that. You know, you could have taken this to the pay-per-view here, showing the highlights of what happened. Joe Hendry's less than 100%. Now we got some heat on the match. You could even have that fan be involved in this in some way and do something. Even if the plant is a local wrestler that ends up, I don't know, coming over to Impact at some point and siding with Joe Hendry. Just an idea, something. I mean, maybe he didn't need to piss in the cup on the flag, but still. I was trying to think of a way that he could do it where, like, you wouldn't see his dick on TV. There's no way they would get away with that. This is an ECW. Okay. So, anyway, Simon was cocky on the mic. Joe clocks him. He had attacked him from the outset. Joe did his usual strength shtick to start with the stalling suplex. More heat, 5 moves of doom by Simon, but then he copped a standing ovation for the loss here. Joe Hendry wins in 6 minutes, 42 seconds. See, if he had a stretcher job on Impact Wrestling, you could have just made this impromptu a stretcher match. That would have been something, right? Anyway, coming up next, tag team match. Chris Sabin, Frankie Kazarian taking on the most professional wrestling gods of Brian Myers and Moose. Again, great back and forth to start off proceedings in this match. It's kind of difficult, though, with these cold matches, especially if one of the teams is in a tag team. Because I'm assuming Alex Shelley is dealing with some sort of injury woes because he was on the previous episode of Impact, so he's there. Because the Motor City Machine Guns faced Eric Young and Josh Alexander. And he did not wrestle very much in the lead up to Bound for Glory. So I don't know if something's going on there, but it's such a cold match. It's hard to just, I'm going to just talk about the moves. A new team against a team that isn't a team. Great heat on Sabin, though. Sabin turned the tables with a tornado DDT. Frankie hit the cutter on Myers. Moose kept trying to hit his moves on Sabin to no effect. He kept getting them reversed. These teams really got given a lot of time. Moose hit a 6 spear, though, to get the win. Another big win for Moose and Myers, the most professional wrestling golds. They needed a bit of momentum, as since I started watching Impact Wrestling Weekly, they've been put together, and I haven't really seen them team together much. It's a good way to keep main event type guys like a Moose or a Josh Alexander away from that scene for a while. even if they've been oversaturated in that area. I like Josh and Eric Young. Like Josh and Eric Young, like Deonna and Chelsea Green. I just gave examples again on that, but 15 minutes, 54 seconds. Let's keep going, bro. Impact Knockouts World Title, special guest referee Gail Kim. Trinity takes on Deonna Purrazzo. We know Deonna's not winning this, foregone conclusion. Surprisingly, I thought Gail is so pretty as a referee. And I'm like, no matter what she did, she probably looked pretty. If she dressed, I don't know, in a chef's hat, she probably looked pretty. She dressed like a, I don't know, a French maid. Well, that would probably be, that's up in the ante, isn't it? So anyway, I've got to admit, the English ring announcer was great and did a tremendous job all evening. And at the 1006th episode of Impact Wrestling, he did a good job there too. Love Trinity's British flag outfit. It was so cool. It's like the female wrestling types version of Ginger Spice, who in fact is my favorite Spice Girl. Thank you. There was a bit of a stalemate between the two early. There's a virtuoso chant. The fans seemed into Deonna here, but what do you know? We get dueling chants. Gail did a good job refereeing. I didn't even remember she was the referee. She did such a good job. I just didn't even notice her. What do you know? A female referee that doesn't make herself the center of attention. Aubrey Edwards. This should have been the main event as far as I was concerned. I thought it was the best match of the show at this point. Jesus, some spelling mistakes here. I didn't even, sorry. This one went on so long. Queen's Gambit by Deonna. No chance that was a finish. Trinity locked in Starstruck. She reversed it into a pin, hit a Bubba Bomb, then another Starstruck, and it was over. After the match, Deonna hits Gail, who hits Eat Defeat to maybe end Deonna's Impact contract. I don't know how much longer she's sticking around, but it would be cool if Deonna and Gail wrestled one another before Deonna leaves. I'm pretty sure she's leaving from what I read. I just can't figure it out. But anyway, Trinity retains in 16 minutes, 15 seconds. Thank you. Final matchup here. Singles match. Eddie Edwards takes on Will Ospreay. And I was right. I was like wrong about this. This should be the main event. This was cool for both these guys. I think Will should sign with Impact to not get lost in the AEW shuffle, just even for a year. I think Will is cool, but he's in no place to no-sell a knife edge chop. I'm sorry. You're not Hawk from the Road Warriors or something, bro. Come on. Eddie did a cartwheel, which popped me. He got some sweet heat in. And it's obvious Will Ospreay's winning this. He's in the main event. It's in England. Come on. You know, I can't be bothered just mentioning all these moves that they hit on each other. This is the problem I have sometimes with wrestling. After a struggle, we got a cool Spanish fly for a 2 count, then an Oz cutter for a 2 count. Crowd was supremely behind Will. But I'm like, notice how every Will Ospreay match has to be taken to the limit here. Somebody who can lose in 6 minutes on TV can somehow last 20 plus minutes with Will Ospreay. Kicking out of everything doesn't make it awesome as far as I'm concerned. I'm sorry. But it seems like this is the formula I see in every Will Ospreay match. And again, I think he's cool. But every match, people have to kick out of everything. You can build the suspense and the drama in many different ways, bro. He did hit a cool Styles Clash. He nailed it very well. There's a hidden blade, a Stormbreaker, and then Eddie gets pinned. And I'm wondering, does Will lose before he leaves Impact Wrestling here? Yeah, you know, is there a match with Josh Alexander coming up? It's cool if he wins this kind of match, but if he's not sticking around, then I think somebody should get the rub. So Ospreay goes over in 18 minutes, 26 seconds. Interesting show, lots of cold matches, but I got to know a lot about a lot of wrestlers I wasn't aware of prior. It's a cool show. It was a cool show. It was serviceable. It was still fun, but it wasn't, you know, one of their amazing pay-per-views that they've had. But anywho, there we have it. My review show here of Impact Wrestling Turning Point 2023 from the UK. Good to see them in the UK. Good to see a different kind of, you know, building for them to be in and in front of different fans. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Again, that's middle of the road. That means it was a good show. And that's exactly what I gave Crown Jewel as well, a 7 out of 10. So there we have it, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me here on the WZWA Network. Please check out the Slam Society on our Patreon. $3 a month for Americans, $5 a month for Australians. I think that's just with the exchange rate. But you get plenty of weekly reviews, NWA Power, NXT. You get, unless there's a special on, you usually get Impact Wrestling, which I didn't do this week because I just didn't have time. But you get also some other reaction videos, some other video game content that will not make our YouTube channel. So I hope you check it out and I hope you enjoy. Hope you enjoyed this too. Karlifornia WZWA Network. See you down the road. Thank you.
Network, that's the way we play. Good God Almighty. Network, that's the way we play. Get puppies. Network, that's the way we play. Get.
The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.